know him. You love him. He's divorced as fuck. This is Steven Crowder, and he's here to make a case for fascism. That's not a joke. That's what this is called, the case for fascism. Here we go.
Even the bad fascists, they were a mistaken response to equally bad Marxists or leftists.
Bad take, but may I mention that in the black and white, he looks moist. He's looking real moist in a bad way.
And Marxism, communism, has killed far more people, and it's not even close. It's not even close. How often?
If you just say this enough, it could be true. It's not true, but it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. We don't have to go into it. Look it up.
When do you hear the accusation of fascism? What do you think it means?
Wow. Has his face kirked over the years? I don't remember it being so close to itself. Has it's sort of like, you know how like the world used to be Pangea and then the continents drifted apart with plate tectonics? It's like the reverse has happened to his face and it's all like moving away from the edges. Am I crazy? Maybe it's just because his hairline's going, don't worry, I got whatever, man. No shame, but my face is normal. Does that say comment? Everyone comment right now. If you don't fucking comment, just comment. I love calls to action in right-wing propaganda. They're just like, I'm not going to actually go through the work of like saying anything noteworthy to get you to comment anything in there. I just need you to fucking do it so that the algorithm sees that you have commented, so it feels like there is interaction on this video, so it pushes it to people so I can make money. Please comment immediately. In fact, I would love if you comment in the comments right now for me. Specifically, it would make me feel really good. If you've gotten to this point in the video, put comment down below and I'll know. And I'll pick one special winner to comment below. And I promise that's true.
To begin with, communism, Marxism, socialism.
Commentism.
Responsible for at least 100 million deaths.
Desticardo. Thanks for following, dude.
The 20th century.
Look at all those deaths.
Seems to me that should be the starting off point for every semester of history, certainly economics, when you're looking at different socioeconomic systems. 100 million dead minimum to begin with.
And you know what Steven Crowder hates? Dead people. He does not like it when people die, unless they are Palestinian or gay or trans or leftists or his wife or his marriage, in which case he will let that die.
Makes it pretty hard to say, religion is the cause of all wars, right? 100 million dead, what? Communism, that's the toll.
What? Communism! He kind of sounds like Haley Stevens now that I haven't listened to Steven in a little bit. There's a little Haley Stevens in there, though.
Now, when action is taken to disinfect a nation, and sometimes I will admit, very radical action taken.
Oh, when you say the word disinfect, do you mean it in the racist Hitler-y way? Because it sure sounds like in your video titled "The Case for Fascism" that maybe you're saying it in the racist Hitler-y way. Is this why he's been relegated to Rumble?
To deal with the root ideology and systems that have led to the death of 100 million people, the left yells fascism.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is fascism has been used historically, not in the way that you've been told. It's been used against communism because with communism, socialism, right, you vote them in, you have to shoot your way out.
That's literally what happened in every fascist regime, by the way. Name a fascist who hasn't been dragged through the fucking streets. Hitler, only because he was a coward and killed himself. But still, he would have been. Trump's not. The end of his story hasn't been written yet.
They don't leave once they attain power, and they nationalize.
You're literally a guy who loves to shine Donald Trump's third-term seeking balls. You love the taste of his gooch. You're like, if I don't have the gooch salts, I'm going to have a bad day. You need it. Stop pretending that this is something that you're actually ethically opposed to. I know that right-wing hypocrisy is like the number one thing they do always, but it would be fresh and exciting to experience a different tact from any of these guys, because like as a fella who watches these for a living, it's getting a little dry to have to experience the same tactic over and over.
The means of production, distribution, which, by the way, is the goal of Marxism.
Have a fantastic
So
day.
Gooch salts, yes. Yes, they're very fine. Fine dining.
I've been taught, or maybe not even taught, you just have teachers point to historical examples of fascists. Maybe even just one or two, and then go, see, fascism bad. Have you done a little bit more? Well, hold on a second. We always want to ask why. It doesn't justify it, but the left, who is so willing to ask why when someone commits a heinous crime against an innocent person and is willing to fight to get them out of prison, which they also don't believe in, that's a part of Marxism.
Trying to figure out what's the reference. Who's getting who out of prison? Does he like prison breaks? Does he not like them? He knows that we're against prison. Yes, prison is bad. Why is the right like, man, prison is so fucking great? Don't you agree that prison is bad? Isn't that like the whole point? The argument on the left is that prison should be a reformative place and not a punitive one. Because we're essentially just not cycling people out and then using these for-profit prisons to very inefficiently detain human beings like cattle and exploit their labor, but mostly just exploit they get government contracts to hold them. I think we should do some reformative stuff. I think we should try to figure out why people are committing crimes and then adjust society to prevent it. I think we could learn a thing or two.
They're not willing to ask why someone may have risen to power with a mandate of the masses against the representatives of an ideology that has killed, again, 100 million people in the 20th century.
The thing you're saying is that like Hitler came to power because the left was killing people, and that's just like not true. Yeah. The violence that leftists pretty much ever commit is in response to it. If you're talking about like autocracies and stuff, like the first like militarized like Soviet and Soviet era communists that were around were like men, frankly, men who had some maybe non-scientific ideas about the world and made ecologically disastrous decisions and were more autocratic than democratic, even though downstream from that there were some good things about like, housing and healthcare and stuff. But I know Steven's not here to talk about any of that, but
So here's how we're going to define fascism. The way the left does. Every time someone does something to prevent the left from completely subverting a nation.
I wish he were less wrong. He's 100% wrong.
Or to try and reverse course. The left wants you to believe that fascism, not Marxism, not communism, 100 million dead, is the biggest, greatest evil threat in the world.
Fascism is definitely the biggest threat in the world. Like modern fascism, which is kind of like it's oligarchy. It's modern day techno-feudalism is what they're trying to instill in people. Like you can't have healthcare without being bound to a company. You can't have food or housing or clothing or education without being bound to a company. It seems to me that you wish for the rich to control our lives to a greater degree than the government ever has tried to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think your cuckery toward the capital class is a particularly compelling argument.
Witnessing a fascist takeover of this country. And I really hope the Republican Party wakes up to that.
All power is vested in the executive. It sure looks a lot like fascism.
Trump is literally a fascist.
I don't want to hear many of these like MSNBC or CNN liberals talking about this shit because they don't make a distinction between this fascism or like Benjamin Netanyahu's or anything. Like, it's really just because it's happening to them that they're opposed to it. But anyway, I'm personally so bold and brave. I'm opposed globally to all fascists. So,
Point to one thing, ICE. Talk about everything Trump's doing that is fascist.
At this stage, we're pretty clear on the fact that Donald Trump fashions himself an authoritarian.
You know you're living in a fascist society when you're constantly going over in your head the reasons why you're safe. What we want is a country where none of us have to feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
At the end of the day, we have a fascist in the White House.
It's not like fascism might come here. Fascism has already arrived.
Dude, and Jake Tapper fucking loves it, by the way. Don't let Jake Tapper tell you he doesn't love fascism. This boy loves war. This guy? Oh, man. If you could bomb more Arab countries, he would fucking love that.
Fascism has already arrived.
Arrived.
All right. That one guy who said, we want a country where everyone feels safe. I don't. What do I mean by that?
You don't? Okay. Well, then I elect that you're one of the people that shouldn't feel safe. How about that?
I don't want communists to feel safe. I don't want people
who wish to share to feel safe. How dare they? How dare these evil communists hope that their neighbors have health care if they need it, and housing and education and food? No! It's disgusting. I think it's better to feel violent towards these people. That's definitely more ethically right. He's literally a domestic abuser. Exactly.
who share the goal of subverting and destroying this country. They're not, just to be clear,
No. We're not going to destroy this country. We're going to dissolve its borders. This shit'll still exist.
Marxists and those in the American Communist Party or the DSA, they don't seek to destroy America because it's fascist. They've always sought to destroy America because it's not Marxist.
No, I think you're wrong. We want to reform America into an ethical place to live for all people. And to do that, you need to decouple your necessities from capital markets, and you need to make sure that people have security and safety in their own personhood, especially when in regards to their personal freedoms, you transphobic fucking freak. Like, you can't even get the first fucking amendment right. How the fuck am I expected to have this guy understand anyone else's, like, basic human rights?
Because it's not communist. It doesn't matter who's in power. They want to bring us to... I don't want those people to feel safe. I don't want those people to rest easy.
Oh, okay. Anyway, this guy could... I mean, he's already just relegated to Rumble. He could be easily dealt with in a world where you don't commodify lying. If you couldn't lie, these guys wouldn't have any fucking jobs at all.
I don't want them to create a coalition and...
Like, lie and profit from it. I don't care if you individually as yourself lie. I think it's bad to have lying as part of our incentive from capitalism.
And turn this into every single communist nation that has ever existed. Let's go through some historical examples here. Okay. One that's very commonly pointed to. And just to be clear, this does not mean that I am supportive of or justifying everyone in the fascist response, right? Everyone involved with that. That's not what I'm saying.
What?
I'm trying to provide you with some historical context. So case one, Chile. The story you were likely told, if at all, 73, far-right military dictator, Pinochet. You've heard this term a lot. It's become just a kind of a shorthand insult for a fascist. Pinochet ousted a democratically elected Allende after a coup. Here, we see this from The Atlantic.
Okay, whoa. America conducted that coup because Allende nationalized the fucking... Was it oil? That he nationalized the oil in Chile and gave it to the people? And Nixon didn't like that because Nixon's people were oil people? And then they helped Pinochet fucking literally take over. Copper mines? Maybe it was that. I can look. He was the first Marxist to be elected president in a liberal democracy in Latin America. Allende sought to nationalize major industries, expand education, and improve the living standards of the working class. He clashed with right-wing parties and controlled conduct. On September 11, 1973, the military moved to oust Allende's democratically elected government in a coup supported by the CIA. Yeah, Nixon did it. Kissinger did it. Yup. So they always say, like, oh, communist countries don't ever succeed. And in every single case, they are disrupted by capitalist enterprises that use violence and barbarism to destabilize a peaceful, democratic, socialized country.
Ultimate lesson of the 1973 coup that brought in General Pinochet's dictatorship was that the people would not, in the end, be denied their choice. Foreign Affairs in there, it says, Chile once boasted a longer history of stable democratic rule than
Why are you reading it like this?
most of its neighbors in much of Western Europe. Now it is the last major country on South American continent to return to civilian government after a wave of authoritarianism. All right. So Pinochet came in. Oh my God. Here's the reality. From 1970 to 73, do you know what created Pinochet?
The CIA?
It was the Marxist, Salvador Allende.
Allende. It's a double L. It makes a Y sound. I mean, read a book or whatever.
far left Unidad Popular coalition. I'll just say the name, Unidad Popular coalition. Socialists, communists, radicals. So what were the results, by the way? Why do you think Pinochet is still popular today? You can't poll it officially, but Pinochet was immensely popular.
You can't poll it, but he's popular? What? No, he's not.
Also left, by the way. Left of his own volition, which fascists don't tend to do. So why? Why would someone who was a military dictator, why would he come to power? Well, could it be because the socialist Marxists before him had inflation up 1,600%?
No.
Wages were down 35%?
Wow.
The socialist Allende responded with these price controls that, by the way, created an entire black market and enabled crime cartels. Basic goods were selling for like 142% over normal prices on the black market. So what happened was Pinochet, with overwhelming support, could have been anybody, let's be clear.
Could have been anybody. Literally an American orchestrated coup.
Went in and cleaned things up. Now, could you say that he went a little too far? Well, sure.
Well, sure. Sure, he murdered people. Sure.
Sure, he had a few communists who went for helicopter rides and we never saw them again. But if you weren't a communist, you weren't at great risk. Not whitewashing everything he did, as the left does with communists. But
it's literally just him being mad as fuck that he's swirling the fucking relevance toilet, and Crowder's on the outside of pretty much everything, including, yet again, his marriage. Now he's like just fantasizing about violence against leftists who continue to gain power. This guy doesn't go outside. Why is he here?
But it was a response. So what did you see from 77 to 81? Average GDP growth was about 8%. Inflation fell to single digits from quadruple digits. Poverty went from 50% as a rate to 10%. Unemployment went from 15% down to 6%.
Yeah, anyway, all of this is due to American sanctions, destabilization, and then the relief of that, and then the help.
And he, again, this cannot be...
Like, we still get, like, goods and produce from Chile all year long because they have such a uniquely north to south geography that they have long growing periods all along the country because the temperatures are different through the seasons. We import a lot.
This cannot be stated enough. Overwhelming support. Pinochet. From the people for his reforms. It became known as the Great Chilean Experiment. By the way, even after he left power, they kept Pinochet's constitution. Did you know that? Well, I will say, as a byproduct, the natives of Chile did develop a persistent fear of helicopters that we're still working on.
What? Just showing, pretty sure that was Apocalypto and not Chilean at all. Probably not even accurate whatsoever. Just racist stuff. Just normal racism stuff from Crowder. He's so happy. He thinks it's so funny, dude.
Apocalypto now.
I understand. By the way,
Apocalypto now. I see.
Pinochet, I just want you to know, like,
all pre-colonial Americans are the same. You're right. I'm sorry. I wokely thought that there were different cultures pre-whites, but of course I was wrong. They are all monolithic. This guy wearing a Jesus is risen changed my mind. What a bunch of fucking losers, man. I bet these guys fucking hang out and don't say anything to each other the whole time. Just quietly, like, on their phones.
those numbers that you gave were long-term numbers. It wasn't just like he did great for a short period of time and then it reverted back. These reforms seem to have held and had long-term great benefit for the country.
Yep. And by the way, they don't always hold.
No.
But it is important to note that typically when you think fascist, you don't think someone who comes in with a mandate of the masses.
Yes, you fucking do. What? Every leftist that's ever talked about this, from Marx to Lenin to Trotsky to Fanon, like, all of them talk about the slow and gentle creep of fascism as liberal democracy deteriorates and allows it. As capitalism falls apart because it's a runaway train with bad math, and the working class realizes that it fucks them because it's just another gambit to make rich people richer. Like, they all talk about this transition from liberalism to fascism and the ushering in of it. Like, all of them get voted for. Almost none of them just take over. left-wing people do just take over because sometimes they do coups. Like, I'm trying to think of a time when a country transitioned from not fascism to fascism. Sometimes fascists kill each other in transition power, but just not fascism to fascism where they weren't part of a process. Yeah, even Hitler, man. Like, so I don't know. I'm trying to think.
And improves the lives.
It's a populist. Well, it's a fake populist thing, but it uses populist rhetoric, fascism, to try to establish itself. And so it usually is because liberals are fearing to mention the problems and they prefer the status quo. Fascists will identify problems but have the bad fascist answer. It's usually scapegoating of like racism and othering groups and saying like, oh, they're the problem. If we simply didn't have them, then we would be good. And then they're not. Whereas communists and socialists obviously identify that the problem is capitalism and go, well, we should have resource sharing and we should just do it. But, until America goes away from its nation building, barbarous capitalist empire, it's just going to keep happening. We are the country that has to change for the world too, sadly, at least for now. Although China's definitely going to put pressure on us as it continues. Like Chinese century incoming, holy shit.
For everyone.
Or leaves office.
Right.
That's a weird one.
Right.
Usually get rid of elections.
Right. Yeah. And I get it. Some people went on helicopter rides who shouldn't have. Okay.
He's making the same joke like 14 times.
You think nobody else was being targeted under the socialist Marxist government? Have you looked anywhere in South America and see there's always a coup?
There's always a coup because it's fascist. It's reacting to fascism. Leftism happens in the face of this every time. Yes, of course. And they say, oh, like a guy like this who's such a cuck for military and cops and stuff like that was like, well, they have the authority, so you shouldn't say, no, you shouldn't have the authority. You should respect all authority, not push back against it. And that's a moral failure every time you do. Because, Christians are like this. If you're a Christian, the odds that you go, well, the authority is correct, is higher. Because you don't fucking question it, because you never have. And if you had, you wouldn't be a Christian.
There's always a coup going on. Right now, so I guarantee you there's a coup. If it's not going on out in the public, it's being planned. Someone's planning a coup. There's a coup meeting. Let's look at another case study. Brazil. A story you've probably been told. 1964 military coup overthrew democratically elected president João Goulart. The reality? Well, look, this president, the policies...
Is this just a big list of these things? Is this just a big list of communisms? Is that all he's going to do? He's going to sell protein? It is? Okay. Is that the whole video? Just want to make sure. Do they ever get past the lists? Do they ever just start talking about other stuff? Comment. Bolivia? These are all South American? And they've all been destabilized by America. Wait, what's 3? Iberian? Comment. Jesus Christ. All right. What if we go past Bolivia? Do I have to listen to a fucking list all these?
Person with a fascist, moniker next to their name. But it also doesn't mean that it's accurate. And I think if someone says, well, look at the fascist, almost invariably, if you look throughout history, even the bad fascists, they were a mistaken response to equally bad Marxists or leftists.
Fucking rumble, dude. So you're saying they're equally bad? Ethnic cleansing is equally bad to fighting authoritarianism. I don't have room in my life for freedom-hating losers. If you don't like freedom, like Steven Crowder does, you need to get the fuck out of here right now.
And Marxism, communism, has killed far more people, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah, I just fully disagree with this. Like, they don't count any of the deaths that happen modernly through time at all. We're in the billions of deaths through capitalism. Billions. It's a 100-year-long tradition, and its precursor, which is like neo-capitalism, the slave trade, all that stuff, all of that killed millions. Like, the seek of profit and wealth hoarding is a problem that has plagued us from the beginning. This brought down the fucking every age you can think of. The Bronze Age. Rome fell due to this. Like a big part of Rome's destruction was because of its runaway inflation, because capitalism is a runaway game, and the math stopped working as their empire expanded, and they didn't have the sophisticated math or the data wide enough to maintain that structure, and it destabilized and allowed so many things to happen. But they weren't able to pay. A lot of Rome's military was privately owned by rich guys, and so a lot of them were paid, and so that their militaries broke apart, and then the Goths and Visigoths and other people were able to like fucking sack Rome itself. Anyway, it's just so obvious that wealth hoarding has been the problem from the beginning. Didn't see me down there. I don't make it subtle, but I get it. Steven Crowder takes up a lot of space.
So rather than starting history at the response, well, the left deliberately doesn't want you to look just a little bit further.
No, I actually would love for any of you to look a little bit further and actually listen to the truth about the matters, like the things that you're talking about. Like almost every single communist death that these people put on like the whole of communism or Marxism, which I don't think even the modern leftist even really is. I think all of us really acknowledge that communism and like socialism are pretty cool ideals, but none of us are like practicing and expecting to be in communism at any point in our lives. Nor do I think socially we transition very easily to something like that, because we are so preconditioned in this place to have anxiety about our production and about how much money we have and all that stuff. And it will take generations to deprogram us. It'll take generations to deprogram us from that mindset to even get to something that is real communism. Like, we're stepping stone generations. So most of these deaths that they put on these are like deaths that happened while in the country that they are calling communist, that could be from any number of things, including but not limited to the destabilization that they faced, usually at the hands of the United States and other Western nations. And then they're, ripped apart by war the whole time. I do think like the Soviet Union was expansionist in some ways. Like the whole thing with Afghanistan and the Middle East was really fucking stupid. I don't really like any of the autocracies that happened. All of them were male focused and very militarized and very, there's a lot of macho shit going on, especially after World War II. Like I have a distaste for the generation of people that tried to take it to its conclusion, but I do think there were lots of well-meaning writers and thinkers of the time, and we can definitely do a very good job. Especially in America, we can do a great job. We can decommodify survival.
Just do this. Anytime you hear about fascists, whether it's Pinochet, whether it's Panzer, take your pick. Just rewind the tape by 2 years. 2 years more than whenever the person telling you the story is starting off. They start off in 64, just rewind it to 62. They start off in 71, just rewind it to 69. You'll go, oh, I get it. Doesn't mean it's right, but I get it. Let me ask you this. What would you do in this country? What would you do in this country if you had an election, and I'm not saying that this has happened, to be clear, but if you had an election verifiably stolen, and then you had, let's say, the DS...
None of these people were verifiably stealing elections? Why is he... The cope is being preloaded into the fucking barrel so that when he finally pulls the trigger at himself, it won't be as shocking, because the DSA is coming for that ass. Like, it's coming. We're going to keep winning. Like, oh, the elections must be stolen. Dog, we're going to smash these fucking elections. Get ready.
DSA come in, pack the courts.
Like 25,000 people starve to death every day right now. Worldwide or in America? Thank you, Brecken. Can't be America. There's definitely millions that are food insecure day to day, though. Globally. That's too many, though. That's so fucking many, dude. And almost all of those are due to capitalism. Probably all of them. 55 a day starvation? 20K malnutrition deaths a year? That's so disgusting. 20K a year? Holy shit. How many of those are religious families not taking care of their like kids and stuff? 20K sounds small. It really doesn't. That's crazy.
eliminate the Electoral College, legalize every single illegal alien in this country, and by the way, usher in another 20 million more so that you would have socialism forever. And they would use that political capital and power to nationalize your private shit.
Your private shit? Like what? What do you mean? I'm going to nationalize Steven Crowder's clothes? Like, what is that fucking... They don't know what nationalization means.
Think you'd support a coup? Or would that be too fascist for you?
Yeah, I don't think when AOC becomes president, I don't think Steven Crowder is going to pick up a gun and shoot anybody. I think he's going to remain inside, get puffier, and stay divorced. Like, any of this private property stuff you're talking about is just like nationalizing and making like the workers own the means of production at like Amazon, for instance. They should own their labor and get the profits that they generate, and it shouldn't be funneled towards Jeff Bezos, who's just fucking chilling and doing nothing. You know? It's not right. Those people are working really hard to make their lives good, and then, like, they'll be fine and they can retire on the wages that they make. They don't even have to stay there forever. Could be good, dude.
By the way, you can't vote your way out of communism. At some point, you have to pick up a rifle.
Yep.
Like, there's just really no other way to do it. We used to know that. We used to have this understanding of how threatening communists and communism were to the United States. And now we're just kind of like, well, maybe they're not all bad.
Look, they're terrorists. These guys are terrorists. These guys would have you believe that gun violence towards Charlie Kirk is bad, but it's good towards random communists. Good luck, man. These guys are going to be freaking the fuck out with free healthcare.
Charlie Kirk was killed by Mossad.
Not a landlord in sight.
In South America, historically, your choice is between a communist or a fascist. It's not just like, well, let's just let cooler temperatures prevail.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
Well, and these guys, I hate the fascist moniker throwing around. What is there, like a 14-point, like, here's what a true fascist really is, and there's a bunch of things that they have to meet, and almost...
I would say the same is true of communism. I would say you have to be for the decommodification of survival needs and the restructuring of labor markets and stuff like that, like for human rights. So yes, there's qualifiers to all of these things. True.
Nobody that they point to and claim is a fascist actually meets all of those except for Benito Mussolini, and that's about it. And I'm not even sure he met all 14, to be clear.
Definitely all of them meet most of them. Like, what's this? You got to hit 14. I don't think so. I think most of it's like nationalism, scapegoating, centralization of power in one or a few figures, usually one, and using barbarous military might to try to ensure that aim rather than, socializing.
There must be one near the back.
Well, but everybody tries to say, well, Trump is a fascist. Anybody you think has power.
Trump is definitely a fascist.
Is a fascist to you?
No. I think that the structures of American power are fascistly designed, however. 14 warning signs of fascism are not a must meet all 14. It is that those are red flags on the path to fascism. Maybe read what you're talking about, Captain Baldy and shouty goblin bitch. Wow. Getting very vulgar over there. How dare you? Yeah, it's always not real fascism or not real capitalism. Always.
That's it. That's really what it comes down to.
Well, because they can't stand power that's outside of their collective.
Exactly.
That's
Did Barack Obama
no one's allowed
power?
to.
Barack Obama did fascist stuff, guys. He committed war crimes. They droned a wedding. Yes.
Go.
They deported people at higher rates than almost everybody. Nationalism, disdain of recognition. Yeah, all these, yeah. The 14 characteristics of fascism. Powerful and continuing nationalism, disdain for the recognition of human rights, identification of enemies, scapegoats as a unifying cause, supremacy of military, rampant sexism, controlled mass media, obsession with national security, religion and government are intertwined, corporate power is protected, labor power is suppressed, disdain for intellectuals and the arts, obsession with crime and punishment, rampant cronyism and corruption, and fraudulent elections. I mean, we are right there. We have 13 of 14. And I mean, really 14, like attempting 14 all the time. So, I don't know. Like, what are you even complaining about? It is, like, just be the thing you think is good. Just say it with your whole chest, idiot. Gerrymandering definitely counts.
Yeah.
Did he force through things that the American public didn't want by bending, everybody's will to what he wants? Yes, of course. So was he a fascist?
Yeah.
Nah, it's just more of like an authoritarian. Oh, okay. So you like authoritarianism?
They wouldn't even say that.
I mean, like authoritarianism.
Yeah.
No.
They wouldn't say that
Leftists don't like Obama.
either.
What's funny is when people are like, why would you call him just because he's black? It's like, because he basically attempted to nationalize a fifth of the economy.
Yes.
So that would be, in other words, that would be a much more legitimate example.
That's not authoritarianism. He tried to do that through Congress. What? And he didn't nationalize it. They're calling Obamacare nationalizing healthcare, which is crazy. He added a public option. I mean, not even a public marketplace with a mandate. It's not even good. And it's because the Republicans forced it into be like Romney care. It's not a good. It's a liberal half measure as always.
Example of socialism than what you would say is fascism of Donald Trump, who, by the way, has opened up more speech on the internet.
Nationalized healthcare is the most efficient and ethical way to do it, and just cheapest. It's just best for everybody. I don't want doctors being forced to argue with insurance companies when they could be spending time giving healthcare to patients. But that is what they do. They really do spend a lot of their time with paperwork and other shit that they don't need to be doing rather than providing healthcare, which is a disservice to everybody. But the system requires it.
From an economic standpoint, is he a fascist? No. Has he? They said they've consolidated all power in the executive. Are you kidding me right now? Do you see how many times judges go after him and how many bills he can't even get the Save America Act passed?
Yeah.
Just because the system he's in doesn't allow him to be authoritarian doesn't mean he's not a fascist. Fascists and authoritarians, he can't even pass this right now because there's not support for it. And SCOTUS does give him a lot of power. I think it should be stripped. I don't even really want a president, frankly.
He's a damn terrible fascist. If
He's
he
a
can't
fascist.
Get stuff done.
He's a fascist who not only can't cancel elections, or isn't even attempting to, he's a fascist who can't even get us to require identification for elections, which, by the way, exists in other both semi-fascist and non-fascist nations.
Yeah, I don't think you should make people pay for these IDs. I think if you want everyone to have IDs, then it should be very easy and free. And it shouldn't, and we should have like really long windows of voting that people are incentivized to take part in that are actually democratic, like ranked choice and non-gerrymandered, and but you guys want to suppress them because you know that if that's the case, you'll lose. That's what he was saying earlier. Like, well, we're just gonna have socialism forever if we let the brown people in the country. Like, good, fuck it.
Like currently and historically.
Yes, if he was a fascist, his Save America Act would be ending elections.
Right.
That's what fascists do.
That's literally what he's trying to do. He suggested poll watchers this election cycle because he's so worried about losing. You guys are going to get fucking hammered in the midterms, I hope you know. I hope every Republican and liberal, for that matter, is ready to get fucking smoked.
Don't go, hey, we need to strengthen and bolster this process. They go like, I just don't want to deal with that process anymore.
Well, like Pinochet, for example, he can someone give me the actual year when Pinochet left? Pinochet
loves
left.
him.
So that's the thing. He was like, all right, you guys don't want me to. He left. They go fascist because, I'm not going to lie, there were some journalists on those helicopters.
Yes.
But you have to understand those journalists were doing the bidding of communists. So I'm not saying that this is right, but when you have this
You have to be honest that some of the journalists liked the government. Brother, you're a cuck. I think we should definitely put him on a helicopter, though. See how he enjoys the threat of it.
Unbelievable economy where even international economists are actually studying your country, the Chilean experiment. And you're reading your own publications. And every single one of them who supported the Marxist government before you is saying that inflation they're lying. You go, oh my gosh, okay, I know what they're doing. They're trying to foment rage so that I'm the next guy taken out. And so you put them on a helicopter ride. Doesn't mean that it's right.
I mean, it really sounds like you think it's right, man. Why would you lampshade this? He's such a pussy. Just say it with your chest. I hate this shit. If you think someone should die, fucking tell him. Just say it. Pop a perk for Charlie Kirk and carry the fucking flame.
But outside of that, if you were running your own business, you were better off under Pinochet. If you were creating a product, you were better off. If you were engaging in trade with other nations and you wanted to be able, you were better off than you were under the Marxists, assuming the violence is equal. Yeah, what were we?
90. 1990.
Yeah.
Oh, he only stayed for 20 years.
For quite a while. And I'm sure there were a few re-elections in there that would be, questionable.
Ugh. Dude, I'm so glad we're done with Steven Crowder. What a slog. I feel like I need to file for divorce from him just to get rid of it. Ugh. We need paperwork to make it official.